Marvel Rivals, we need to talk. It's season 9. Season 9.5 is dropping tomorrow. There's just a couple things that we need to, well, I'd like to talk about before season 9.5 drops tomorrow. The first point that I want to raise is this season's meta in quotations, meta characters and broken characters and the tier list. So I may have an image of that on screen now. I like what Zeong and Guangguang are doing. I think the direction in general of the game is going up. You know, season 5, season 3 were tough seasons, I'm not gonna lie. They were not fun. But I do think the general trajectory is going upwards in terms of like the game's health. Number 1, Venom. Venom, his team up with Phoenix needs to be nerfed. Maybe on a longer cooldown. I know that they're doing that. I think in the patch notes they said that they were gonna increase the swing cooldown, but the team up, especially with Phoenix, just does way too much damage. Bucky, Winter Soldier. Now I know a lot of you would think that I wouldn't go to Winter Soldier after Venom, but yeah, we need to talk about the Winter Soldier. This parent-killing monster needs to be nerfed into the ground. His bullet size is massive. You can't even run away. When I try to run away, this guy shoots in a different direction and still hits me because I don't know. It's so stupid, or they need to reduce the size of his bullets or make it harder for him to hit his shots because they just reward him for completely missing. Like, you may as well play Scarlet Witch. Next broken character I want to talk about is the Thing. I know all these support players or these tank mains may be like, oh, Thing's not broken, you're just not bad at, you're bad at dive. All these dive players, dive main egos. Okay, I play every role. I play support, I play DPS, I play tank, I play brawl, I play poke, I play every role. All right, my best role is dive/brawl. So because my main is magic. But anyways, the Thing. Not only does his team up give him crazy survivability, he already has crazy survivability. It's like an immovable object versus an unstoppable force. You can't kill him. You cannot kill him. And then the fact that he can take so much damage and give the support. If they have a Gambit on their other team, a Gambit and a Rocket, and a Thing, it's over. They're winning every single team fight because they're getting support ults first. For Thing players, you don't need to have any sort of awareness. You just and hopefully your team gets a kill. How could I forget? Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger. Alright, Cloak and Dagger. She pops the freeze. Then once she pops the freeze, you're waiting for her to unfreeze herself. She goes invisible. And then while you're waiting for it to come back, she then throws down her bubble. And then after the freeze, it's just a whole cycle of freeze, fade, bubble, freeze, fade, bubble, freeze, fade, bubble. And it's just so stupid. That freeze, you should be able to break the freeze. Why am I watching this Cloak and Dagger just freeze herself standing in the corner like a cuck, like a literal cuck? So she is the best healer in the game, has the best healing outputs, has the best survivability. I don't know why Cloak and Daggers on my team somehow find a way to die 20 times or 14 times. Nerf the bubble, nerf the freeze, encourage team play and encourage peeling instead of giving a healer 3 different survivabilities. Yeah, I think that's all for the broken characters. I mean, I could talk about Black Widow having a semi-automatic, but anyways, next thing I want to get into is the state of quick play/quick match. Quick play might be one of the most unbearable experiences in the whole of Marvel Rivals. There was a time during the Zombies event that I'd rather play Zombies than quick play. Because tell me why in quick play the other team just decides to run the most diabolical comp of Thing, Emma, Namor, Bucky, all champions, by the way, Rocket, Gambit, or Cloak and Dagger Gambit, and your team decides to play Ultron Jeff backline, or even has one Ultron, or has no healers. I've had a game where I've had no healers, 6 DPS versus 3 supports. I've only had maybe 2 games or 1 game where it's all DPS versus all DPS, but most of the time, nobody on my team wants to play support. And before you come at me and say that, oh, why don't you play support? I play support and I have played support. I have a Lord Cloak and Dagger, I have a Lord Gambit, I have a Lord, well, about to have a Lord White Fox, I have Lord Invis, I have a Lord. I have so many Lord healers. So I've played support. In quick match, I should be able to try out new characters or try out characters I haven't really played much, rather than you have to play support. The issue is there are people who feel like support is not a rewarding role. Maybe I think that's why they're they just have too much of ego to play it, because they want to play a role that gets all the kills, that does all the work. But at the same time, if you want to play Scarlet Witch, what's the difference between Scarlet Witch and Cloak and Dagger, really? Cloak does the same thing as Scarlet Witch. Quick match is just really diabolical. Maybe one dive character. You can play Spider-Man. You can go negative. You can go 3-7 as Spider-Man, right? And the enemy team will still swap to Namor. It's just not fun. People in QP are insufferable. They always say 2-2-2. I'm not gonna heal if we don't play 2-2-2 in quick play, by the way. I'll get to the solo tanking part as well. I think quick match is just really insufferable. I play mostly with my friends, and it's always us having to swap to accommodate the team. And I just think that's not how this game should be. Yeah, let's get to the solo tanking problem since we're on it now. I don't think solo tanking is the worst thing in the world, or what people describe it to be. I think people describe solo tanking to be literal hell. It's not. I've solo tanked before as Mag, as Groot, as basically every tank. As Venom, I've solo tanked before. All right. It just forces you to think more. The only thing that changes is your responsibility, right? If you're solo tanking and say they have 3 support or 3 DPS, it's no longer really your job to peel, right? Because you're meant to be holding the front lines. Unless there are some cases, and obviously, like, people may come and say, oh yeah, there's this case, this case. Yeah, obviously there are some cases, but most of the time when you're solo tanking, you don't need to peel. You poke their healers, try to help your DPS get a kill on the supports, while also absorbing some of the frontline damage. Throwing because of solo tanking is unacceptable. Next thing I want to talk about is ranked. Oof. I'm not a top ranked player. I'm not Eternity. I'm not top 500. I'm GM peak, all right? Boo. Yeah, I know. Boo, GM. Boo. Anyways, point is, the ranked experience I've gone through for 9 seasons now, it's not getting any better. Let's begin. So, in ranked, right? You want to play. I play normally in ranked. I either play Elsa or Magic. Most of the time, I'm playing Elsa. Sometimes I do play support. More recently, I have been tanking as Mag. The ban phase, unless it's both 100%, 100%. Okay, fair enough. But if it isn't, double ban shouldn't happen. Second of all, the bans that do happen, right? I maybe think this is like a teammate, like, brain cell problem, or I don't know. Say your team bans thing because you have a BP, and you don't want a ban thing because you have a thing on your team, right? A Lord thing versus a regular BP. But the BP is like, I really want to play BP. I'm not going to play anyone else but BP, right? I'm not going to swap. After the ban phase is done, they get diffed. They go 0-5 on BP, and they swap to Namor. Meanwhile, their BP is digging in digging in your backline, getting 15 kills, getting 2 picks every single time he enters the fight. And then you just have to you have to take it. Pause. But you have to take it. Just because your player who wanted to try BP out for the first time in ranked and then realized that he wasn't meant for that life, swapped to Namor now and didn't allow BP to get banned. Now you have to suffer. Sometimes I see a Spider-Man ban, for example, but we have Emma, we have a Lord Namor, and we have a Thing, or we have a Strange, or we have, I don't know. But sometimes I just don't understand those bans, because sometimes you do encounter those really good Spider-Man, but I'm on console. So it's very, very rare you encounter really good Spider-Man. And I think Spider-Man is quite counterable. I've played Spider-Man. I'm a Lord Spider-Man as well. I think he's very counterable. There's some bands that just don't make sense at all. Like, oh yeah, Scarlet Witch. Sometimes I've seen a Scarlet Witch band, and we're just wasting especially in this game where there's so like this season where there's so many broken and good characters and viable characters, and you just waste it on Squirrel Girl or Scarlet Witch. I don't know why people don't decide to shoot Penny mines. Nobody plays hit scan into, everyone plays dive into Penny. It doesn't make sense. And they don't swap off dive into Penny. No one goes Phoenix, no one goes Hela, no one goes Namor to get rid of the mines. Nobody. In ranked, when you all select your characters, right? Everyone selects their mains, and then you have those two people that don't select anything until the final second, and then they select Ultron and Adam. You can't even, I mean, you can say something, but they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm feeling." So, I mean, if I'm gonna play support, this, and that, like, they just want to make, they want to make everything about themselves. And it really sucks because this game is meant to be a team game. You're meant to fight 6 versus 6, but clearly there's people on your team that want to just have the focus on them, right? They want to be the one getting all the praise. They want to be the one setting up all the plays. And then if they're dying, they're going to be the one blaming everyone else. So there is an ego problem in this game. And I'm not saying that like I haven't been that as well. Like that's why I like playing Magic and all these other characters, because they do set up winning plays and stuff. But I do understand the value of team play. That's why I do play characters like Mag. I do play support as well, because that's the only way you're gonna win. I sound like a motivational speaker, but that's the only way you're gonna win is if you actually play as a team rather than playing separately. Healers and healing is the next point I want to talk about. So, as I was saying, people that fill on healers, they have an ego problem because they think, oh yeah, I'm filling, so it must be all about me. If you don't bend to my will, then I'm not gonna heal you, right? Most often, Jeff, Ultron, Adam, non-Lord Invis a lot of the time. So if they're feeling on healer, you just have to pray that their feelings don't get hurt or they don't get dived too much. Because I really resonate with tank mates because they're the ones who actually complain the least. I'm not gonna lie, they complain the least. I mean, some healers aren't enjoyable, I guess. I mean, I guess they may feel like heal bots, but I don't even think Rocket's a heal bot. I was playing Rocket recently. I really like playing Rocket, especially with the Groot team up. It feels I don't know, it feels fun. And Gambit's always been fun. Jubilee, I think Jubilee is a very weak healer, and you need to really, really know what you're doing to get value on her, to be good with her. Yeah, I think her kit wasn't really made to be a healer, neither made to be a DPS either. So she is quite weak in my opinion. This is my opinion. Yeah, so I think that's why people are discouraged to play healer, because they're not healers that make you feel like they're not for them. Because I play heals. I'm gonna say this so many times, but for them, I think that there's just not healers that make them feel like they're the main character. Maybe White Fox. White Fox, like she's a DPS. Let's be real. White Fox is a DPS. But there's not healers that make them feel like the main character. So that's why they feel like they don't want to play healer. They'd rather play Iron Man and go 0 and 10 than play heals. Triple support is still very strong. And the only meta you can really play into triple support is poke. I don't really see successful team comps with all brawl or all dive really beating triple support unless the triple support is really bad. If you're now forced to play poke, that just, I don't know, it just makes the game a stalemate. It doesn't really reward skill, especially because the poke characters in the game they don't really enforce you to have skill, except for Widow and Hawkeye. I think Elsa's kit is really good. She's more of like a pseudo flank dive slash poke, but I do think her kit really makes it easy for her to survive, to get out, to get in, and to really get kills. I think it really makes it easy for her to get kills and to stop dives. She's really an anti-dive as well with her traps and her dino team up as well. And most poke characters are really rewarded by their kits. Their kits really make it easy for them. Visual clutter and lag is the next point I want to talk about. Before they like fixed it at the beginning of season 9, it was really bad with Jubilee and all the different characters. It was really bad, and the lag was really bad as well. I just hope that they find a way to fix it as season 9.5 approaches and we get to season 10 and season 11. I just hope they fix this as they add more characters, because it's just going to become it's just going to become visually unplayable. You're not going to be able to understand what's happening. You're not going to be able to see what's happening, and it's really going to discourage newer players who don't already understand and have to now make sense of what's happening, especially support players if they have like different visual effects. Blind, we need to stop blind effects, please. Characters that need gutting slash reworks, Cloak and Dagger. Discouragement of team play is also another point I wanted to talk about. The fact that you give like these healers and DPS and well healers and DPS specifically such good survivability and the ability to just get out and to basically have get out of jail free cards so often really discourages team play, and it doesn't like incentivize or help people work as a team. For example, if Mag needs to bubble his Cloak and Dagger while he's ulting, right? Rather than doing that, Cloak and Dagger can just pop a freeze, pop a fade, or pop a bubble even. And I think that really doesn't encourage team play. Now you can just all play individually on the same team, if you understand what I'm saying. I think a lot of the time people don't even know what peeling is. People don't even know how to peel. I think people don't know how to position themselves, especially supports. I feel like the supports I see, or sometimes I even play against, they either position themselves so far behind the team or so far in front of the team that it's easy to get a pick off of them. And that's what forces the other team to swap to anti-dive. Not because the dive on the other team is doing well, but just because their supports are so badly positioned that they need like accommodation by a Bucky or a Namor just to sit with them so that they can be rewarded for their poor positioning. And it really sucks. And it sucks as a dive player, DPS player, because these supports are getting babied. I feel like I'm ranting on about supports a lot, but it's the truth. Like they're getting babied. They're having anti-dive. You have a Mr. Fantastic and a Bucky sit with them while they while they heal from the middle of nowhere. You see a Rocket on the other side of the map while his team is on one side, but then there's a Bucky next to him. It doesn't encourage team play. It doesn't encourage you to work as a team. You need to understand how to dive, when to kite, when to fall back. If your team is going to lose the fight, or if the other team pops three ults, you look to minimize, right? You don't want to have your whole team wiped by that. If your whole team gets wiped by that, then they've won that team fight essentially. But if your whole team doesn't, then you've basically survived three ults, and you're definitely going to win the next team fight because they have their three ults down. To push up, how for tanks to take space instead of sitting on cart. I see that way too often. I just think that the scapegoatism problem in Rivals is also a big thing. If someone on your team isn't playing a meta character, they'll be the first one to be blamed. Even if they're doing okay, or even if they're even doing well. I'll show you the video. This other DPS on my team swapped like maybe 8 times, even to support at one point in time. But since they saw her swapping so much, they were like, "Oh yeah, she's trying." So, and they all just ganged up on me and reported me and got my account banned. If you don't play meta, you get punished. I think TikTok, Instagram just force ideologies on people, and it just makes people sheep, and they just believe whatever. Thor is D tier. Everyone's gonna think Thor is D tier. It's even a joke running on TikTok. It's called agenda, like maintaining the agenda. The sheep mentality in the community is just ridiculous. And the last thing I want to talk about today in this video is EOMM. I know that they said it doesn't exist, but something has to be going on. Something has to be going on. Games where I shouldn't even be losing, I'm losing. We win the first round, clean sweep. The other team looks like they're about to surrender. They have 10 seconds before the game's over. They cap point. They go on to win the game. Like it's just there's some sort of just like engagement thing going on in this game that's forcing this, because you're you sometimes it just feels like you have to get lucky, and sometimes you don't even get lucky, like you just go on a full loss streak. And I know that you say like when you go on those loss streaks it's just best to hop off, and I do that. And then the next day you go on a winning streak and then you lose, and then you either choose, okay, do I play again and then go on a loss streak, or do I think I can rank up today? And then if you think you can rank up, you rank down. So there's something in this game that needs to be addressed in terms of EOMM, or if it's something else. But I think there's something going on behind the scenes. But yeah, that was my long rant on Marvel Rivals and season 9 and how it's been so far. Um, yeah, I think hopefully season 9.5 with the hood may be slightly different. I think it might be even worse. But yeah, let's just hope for the best in season 9.5. And thank you for watching this video. If there's anything you'd like to complain about, please do so in the comments, and I'll definitely see it, and maybe I'll even bring it up in the next video. But yeah, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you. Bye.